Welcome back, Banter fam, to the most alpha-packed YouTube show about crypto. Today, I'm going to be covering some amazing strategies for you guys to be able to profit in this market. Obviously, we have had some market volatility recently, which has caused the Bitcoin price to come down, and it's affected some alts. But I'm here to reassure you that there are still some amazing opportunities to profit in this market. And in today's show, I'm going to be running you guys through some of those opportunities and giving you the tools to be able to profit in this market, because what's the use of me just giving you guys calls? I'm better off giving you the tools and the strategies to be able for you guys to make your own decisions and profit in this market. I'm live every single day at 1:30 a.m. EST to give you guys the best DeFi alpha. It's going to be an amazing show. Strap in. Let's get straight into it.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Get up, let's go. Welcome back, Banter fam, to the show where I cover everything DeFi to help you guys profit in this crazy market. I know it has been a difficult few days. Luckily, today we are seeing a little bit of a rally across the market, which is good to see. But I want to implement some strategies for you guys and start showing you some ways that you can profit and fight volatility in this market. Obviously, when the market's going down, no one likes that. No one likes seeing their bags get hit. You know, it was a pretty hard day for me yesterday as well. But I see this as an opportunity to reposition, accumulate tokens at lower levels, and set ourselves up for the next leg of this bull run when that comes. Who knows how long we'll be down in the dumps for? It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a few months. But I know when we come out the other side, we are going to come back even stronger. And that is exactly what today's video is all about, giving you guys the tools so we can come out the other side stronger. So just to summarize today's show, I'm going to be showing you some of my stablecoin strategies like I talked about yesterday for accumulating wealth. Then I'm going to show you how to find new projects, how to find quality projects and projects with good farming potential. And then at the end, I'll be showing you some yield farming strategies that you can use to implement in tandem with these picks to be able to profit in this market. Absolutely jam-packed show today. Let's get straight into it. I think it's going to be a really valuable for you guys to be able to learn some of these strategies and implement them into your crypto journey. So the Bitcoin price, it has actually rallied a little bit today. Obviously, we have seen this leg down. We broke trend. We pushed up. We made the higher high at 45K. And now we are seeing the push down back into the 36K region. Obviously, when you look at a chart like this, it doesn't look great. But I would say that, it's kind of a good thing that we are coming down to these lower levels. It's, never great when you hit kind of a bottom and then you instantly rocket up. We need consolidation to be able to accumulate tokens. And I always view these periods of consolidation as periods where we can actually take advantage via farming and DCAing, because that is one of the major ways that I personally profited in crypto over the last couple of years. It's taking advantage of these dips, buying on the red days and not getting sucked in and buying on the green days. The sooner that we start to implement that into our daily strategy, the better off we'll be. So obviously the Bitcoin price did come down yesterday, well, not yesterday, but over the last week, around 20%. So it is quite a large drop off. And we also saw that reflecting across most alts, and most people's bags got absolutely smashed, which is never what you want to see. But the dominance, however, isn't looking too bad. The dominance is currently in this range. We're forming this range around the 42% mark right now. And it's actually pushed down today. So we're seeing some strength come back into some of the alts, which is a positive sign, because obviously most of us are going to be concentrated in alts. This is the DeFi DGen show. I'm pretty much all alts. I know I own no Bitcoin. That's not financial advice. That's just what I own. And so the Bitcoin dominance is coming down a little bit, but it's going to keep ranging in this range for a little bit, I think. And I don't think there's a rush in terms of buying into this market right now. I always say the best approach when it comes to crypto is dollar cost averaging. If you have a long-term time horizon when it comes to crypto and a low time preference, meaning you're willing to wait, a few years or, a longer period of time to realize profits, then you are in a really good position right now because you're going to be able to take advantage of these dips, whether that is 38, 36K or whether we go even lower towards 30K. It all spells positivity long-term. If you are a long-term trader with conviction, it all comes down to conviction. You need to have conviction in the market to be in the market. I'm not a trader. I'm mostly a farmer. So these times do spell opportunity for people like us, but we are seeing a little bit of buy pressure come back into the alts. But I want to see a little bit more volume come into the market before, I go crazy with buys. That being said, I did make some moves today. I did buy the dip, essentially. I am continuing to average in, and I always keep stables on the side, which will be my first tip in a second. So you have buying power to be able to take advantage of dips. But I actually did a tweet today, and Peter Schiff won't be happy with me because I said I'm selling my gold holdings for crypto today. Already have a large percentage in alts. Obviously, you guys know I'm a DeFi degen. I have a lot of Fantom, a lot of Luna, a lot of these altcoins. So I want to get into some Bitcoin or Ethereum. I actually want to start building a little bit of a long-term portfolio as well at the moment. So I'm going to sell all my gold. And I did a poll. You guys can check it out on my Twitter. Bitcoin, Ethereum. The Ethereum bulls are actually winning at the moment. So you guys clearly want me to buy some ETH. And guess I'm going to have to make that happen. I said I was going to follow the poll. So tomorrow or Friday, whenever I can, I will be stocking up on whichever coin wins because I don't see the point in being in gold for my personal situation. I am very bullish on crypto in the long term. So it's a good opportunity to accumulate for my situation. But we have to start with talking about stablecoins. And as I said in this video, I'll be giving you three major tips and ways to profit in this market. And the first of the three tips is stablecoins. Now, I did talk about this in the video yesterday, but I think it's such an important point to reiterate because it's where a lot of people go wrong in crypto. So the first point I'd like to make about stablecoins is that you should always keep a small percentage of your crypto portfolio in stables. I personally like to keep between 5 and 25% in that range, depending on the market. Obviously, I tend to hold slightly more stables when the market is uncertain. So I'm sitting around 20% at the moment. But when we are going full bull and it's time to be in the tokens, then that can sit closer to 5%. But I always recommend keeping a small percentage in stables and using those stables to farm because you need dry powder to buy dips. And that's just the reality of crypto. You're not going to succeed in this market long term if you're constantly running around with full alt bags. And I know a lot of you probably do, but I just want to say that yesterday was probably, a good example of why we have to hold stablecoins. So I just wanted to make that point, like I covered in yesterday's video, because I think we should be always trying to hold some stables at all times because we want to be able to take advantage. And we want to be able to take advantage of these dips when they come around. I did cover that in yesterday's video. So if you want to check that out, I covered some stablecoin farming strategies, but I just want to briefly touch on Anchor today because it's probably, the best way to farm stables at the moment. We all know the UST stablecoin is a decentralized stablecoin, so it runs less regulatory risk compared to other stables. And also they had a top up of the Anchor yield reserve, which means that there is now $494 million worth of UST sitting in the yield reserve, which will be distributed over the next period of time to people that stake their UST. It's a really, really easy thing to do. If you have UST, you can come into the Earn tab here with your Terra Station wallet and click deposit, and you will start earning 19.23%. It's as simple as that. Anchor Protocol offers a really good way for us to be able to generate yield on our stablecoins. So that is probably the main one from yesterday's video, but I also covered a few other strategies in case you're interested in how to farm stables, because when you have your 5% or 20% in stables sitting on the side, you want to continue to generate profits with those stables. There's no use just having them sitting in your wallet. You want to actually actively earn yield on them because that means when the dips come around, you're actually going to have more stablecoins to be able to take advantage, which means you're going to be able to profit in spades. You're going to be able to profit more than you would have if the market did actually rally straight away. Because if you're accumulating stables, you buy dips, then when the market actually pumps, you have more tokens than you would have normally. So that is the power of stablecoin farming. But how do you find the best yields? That is a question. People ask me a lot of the time, how do I find the best yields across stables? And CoinDix actually offers this. So CoinDix is a platform where you can find yields. You can search to optimize yield based on certain tokens. For example, if you want to know the best place to farm UST, you go into the search bar, you search UST, and it will come up with a list of places that you can generate APR. As you can see, the number one option is Anchor Protocol. It's sorting by TVL right now. That has the most TVL, but you can actually sort by APY and find the places where you can earn the most UST. So CoinDix is probably the biggest alpha I can give you guys in regards to finding yields, not only across stables, but also across tokens, because it is the one-stop shop to be able to actually find these yields and implement them into your strategies. So you don't just have to look at the LPs. If you click on single stakes right here, you can, and I don't know why my mouse is not lining up, but if you click single stakes here, you can see the single stake options for UST. And this works for every single token. So if you want to see where you can farm USDC, say you don't want to LP it, you can click single stake, sort by APY, and we can see that Banter on Ethereum is paying 22%. Seabridge on Optimism is paying 16%. So you can go through and see this. And also, if you want to look at the LPs, you're going to get a slightly more better reward for LPing. So combining tokens together and farming them, you can click on LP stakes and then go through and look at the APYs based on the token. So I'm going to circle back to CoinDix in a second, but I just wanted to say that it is one of the best places to find stablecoin yields. Now on to my second point. In this market, we have to make sure we are picking the right coins. So I always preach yield farming is a great way to make bear-proof profits in this market. No matter whether the market's going up or going down, farming your tokens and earning yield on them is always a great way to approach this market, especially in times of volatility. But first, before we can yield farm anything, we have to work out what are the best tokens? What are the best projects to actually be in? And what narratives do we want to position ourselves in so we're farming the right tokens? Because I think a lot of people get this mixed up. A lot of people will chase yield. They'll see 1,000% on a shitcoin, and then they'll go, oh, it's 1,000%. You know, it must be better than 20% on my Luna. Well, that's kind of wrong, because if your shitcoin goes to zero and you're earning 1,000% APY on it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what yield you're earning. If you're holding the wrong tokens, you're not going to make money through yield farming. You need to be holding the right tokens in the first place. So I'm going to show you a couple ways of how I actually find the right tokens and how I identify the narratives that are great for farming. Obviously, CoinDix is one way of doing this, but CoinGecko is another platform to be able to do this in a simple manner. Now, I talk about this a lot, but I'm going to keep talking about it because it's so important, and that's watchlist building. You guys have to build watchlists. It's a really simple feature that's built straight into CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and it enables you to constantly monitor the projects that you want to be getting into. We give you guys calls all the time on the channel. There's also, a lot of information going across social media. So instead of just taking that information, going one ear and out the other, actually apply it and start adding these coins to your watch list and monitoring them. It's an easy way to filter out what coins you're actually interested in and what coins come across your desk. Because if a coin comes across your desk, instead of just dismissing it, it could be a gem. So you want to be adding them into your watch lists. Now, I have multiple watch lists that I've actually created, but it's very, very simple to do. You just come into CoinGecko, you click on watch list here, and you click create portfolio. It's really that simple. Create portfolio, and you can go through and create watch lists. And I think it is one of the best ways to be able to profit in crypto, because we can see what's actually down. And once we see what coins are down, then we can start taking advantage and scooping dips. So for example, this is my gaming portfolio. I can filter by week. And as we can see, the gaming projects, a lot of them are down 30% this week. So if you didn't have a watch list, maybe you wouldn't know what's happening in certain sectors. But because you do, you can come in and you can see exactly how these sectors are performing. So that is how I identify projects that may be spelling buying opportunities. Good projects like Superfarm, good projects, Immutable X, Gala, like these are really solid and projects that I think that, gaming fans should strongly consider holding, and they're down 34%. So it's a great way to be able to see where the buying dip potential actually lies. So watchlist building is my first tip in terms of identifying projects. But obviously, we have to identify narratives as well, because in order to filter your watchlist down into categories, you need to identify the categories in the first place. So Rand gave us a few strong narratives that he's looking at. Obviously, you've got L1s, you've got security, you've got gaming. There's multiple narratives in the market right now, which are really strong. And DeFi is another one of them. that you can take advantage of. So when identifying narratives, we want to be sorting them out into watch lists. So for example, I'm super bullish on Fantom. I think Fantom's got one of the best DeFi ecosystems in crypto. So I've come in here, I've created this watch list, and I can monitor how the projects are performing. A lot of the Fantom projects got hit pretty hard. Like Liquid Drive is down 36%, and I still think it's a super solid protocol. Obviously, Spooky Swap got hit, Spirit Swap got hit, and these are the projects that are actually going to be eligible for the Solid Swap distributions. So Spooky Swap actually came out and said that if you pool Spooky and Boo and XBoo together on Solid Swap, you're going to be receiving ROC distributions, which is the governance token of Solid. Or solidly. So, for example, holding these governance tokens can actually unlock some extra profits for you guys. So, having them in your watch list and monitoring them is a great way to find out what's happening. And while I'm on the subject of Fantom, there's actually been some amazing developments, and the price doesn't always line up with the fundamentals. So, in crypto, there's two things we have to pay attention to. The first thing is the fundamentals. So what's actually happening on chain? What's developing? What narratives are developing on a chain? For example, Fantom. And then the second thing we have to identify is what's happening with the price. Is the price reflecting the fundamentals? And what are the reasons for that? And at the moment, we're seeing this across multiple projects where the fundamentals are significantly outweighing the price action. And Fantom is a great example of this because obviously when the Bitcoin price isn't doing well due to macro uncertainty, it's going to be very hard for some of these altcoins to perform. Even if they have the most bullish narratives in crypto, like gaming, it's an extremely bullish narrative, but the tokens are being hit 30% over the last week because Bitcoin hasn't been performing. So the fundamentals are something to really pay attention to. And this is exactly how I kind of go and look at fundamentals of projects to dictate whether I think they are a good investment. So Fantom, for example, I look at the catalysts and I see multiple catalysts at the moment. I see Solid Swap emissions are starting in 2 days. So the Solid Swap protocol is going to start emitting ROC tokens and you're going to be able to stake them to earn yield. The Oath, which is a ByteMasons project, it was like a secret project. It just launched yesterday, which is a huge bullish catalyst for getting liquidity into the Fantom ecosystem. Justin Bebas is one of the best developers on Fantom. He's created Oath, which is a new protocol on Fantom. We got the Beats Wars, as I talked about last week, ramping up. With multiple bribes coming in for these projects, and we're seeing some amazing returns on Beats. For example, I think I received an extra couple percent on my Beats holdings last week just because of the bribes. So we're seeing a mass amount of rewards being offered to Beats holders. So that's another thing that's happening on Fantom. And then the last thing that's happening on Fantom is GameFi. You know, I've always said it. DeFi isn't the only way that Fantom's going to grow. You know, Fantom, I think, is the DeFi chain, but for Fantom to actually succeed long term, it needs other avenues to growth. And one of the avenues to growth that I think is super important these days in crypto is GameFi. GameFi is certainly one of the ways that projects can attract and retain users. And Fantom is actually starting to pick up in this area. We saw Tank Wars, which is a new project, actually launch their first NFTs. Looks super promising. Looks like a very promising GameFi project on Fantom. We had Lost Kingdom, which is another project that we're getting more information about, which looks like a good game. It's backed by a lot of people. Justin, as I said before, for ByteMasons, is backing this project, at least on social media. And then we saw Stumble You Rumble. It's a little game. You know, it's 8-bit. It looks a bit corny, but it looks like it has some addictive gameplay qualities to it. So that's another GameFi game on Fantom. So I'm just using Fantom as an example here, right? I know Fantom isn't the only bullish chain in crypto, but I'm using it as an example because we have to look and step back for a second and look at what's happening on chain. We have to go back and look what's actually happening. You know, why is the price down? Okay, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is affecting the market because of the Russian news, because of the interest rate hikes. But then we can look and we see all the growth that's happening on chain, on the Fantom chain with all these catalysts, and we can start to see a little bit of a discrepancy there. And this discrepancy is how you make profit in crypto. When the fundamentals and the price don't line up, that is where you profit. And there's actually on-chain metrics which back this up. So once you verify a project has some great catalysts, so we know the Fantom has catalysts, AVAX has great catalysts as well, with its GameFi and its DeFi blossoming, we have to back that up with data and statistics, because we can't just look at a project and say, wow, it has great catalysts and not have data like TVL growth, like address growth to actually back that up. So we need the hard data as well. So my favorite place to come and look at hard data is actually the scanning sites. Now, the scanning sites are really your key, your kind of look through the keyhole into what's happening with a project. So these statistics that we will see on the scanning sites here are the statistics that you can use to measure the success of a chain. So let's take Avalanche, for example. We have multiple stats in here. It's on Snowtrace, and you can come in and look at for example, the daily transactions and see how the growth on the chain has developed. So what I recommend doing is having multiple projects that you like. Say you like Fantom, AVAX, Luna, Ethereum, have all those projects scanning sites actually bookmarked. So every single day you can come in and view the scanning sites and look at the statistics and compare to yesterday. So you're going to be the first ones to see when changes happen. So we see Avalanche is growing in transactions. So if you were actively looking at Snowtrace, you can see how the network is performing. And obviously, this enables you to make better informed decisions when it comes to buying. Because if transactions are constantly increasing on Avalanche, that indicates to me that the chain's growing. So if the price is dropping like it has been recently, once I said, it's all about that discrepancy. That is the time where you can jump in and take advantage. So the scanning sites are one of my biggest tools and one of my biggest tips in DeFi. We have to take advantage of them because they are the major look into the statistics, and we can see through the scanning sites how a chain is growing. And in terms of how a chain is growing, Fantom, once again, is growing tremendously. It had 18,000 new wallets yesterday. That's the second highest day of growth in 2022. So the price yesterday, ironically, had the worst day of 2022. I think it was down 16, 17%, but it had the second highest wallet growth of 2022. So what's happening on-chain is not happening with the price. Like, the on-chain metrics are super bullish, pretty much the most bullish they've ever been. And we saw the total transactions on Fantom was actually 1.1 million. So if you come in every day and you monitor the transactions, you can see, oh, look, Fantom, it had 1.1 million transactions yesterday. And you can see the growth that's happening on the chain in real time. And if just for the record, 1.1 million transactions is actually more than Ethereum, or almost as much as Ethereum. I think Ethereum is 1.14 and Fantom yesterday was 1.12. So Fantom has the same amount of transactions as Ethereum, and it's much lower in market cap, obviously, which is super bullish to look at. So the scanning sites are another great way to be able to profit. Now, we are here to help. And this is my next major point. You're not in this alone. We are here, the Crypto Banter team. We are here every single day to help you guys profit in this market. So I told you about creating watch lists before. I said how important watch lists were. But the other component is actually finding the tokens to implement and put on your watch list. And we give you a lot of tokens. We do our own research and we actually come out and we tell you what tokens we're looking at. And this is something you can benefit from. You can benefit from us because when we tell you about a token, you can do your own research and add it to your watch list. And that could be really beneficial for you in the long term. So if we go on here, we can look in the last week, we've given you 2 portfolios, guys. We've handpicked 2 portfolios. I had a chat around about his portfolio, double checked it with some of my knowledge. I know Hustle is super knowledgeable in the gaming space. These portfolios are here to help you guys. So this is the DGen-ish portfolio. It's a portfolio that's slightly riskier, but it encompasses quite a few sectors of crypto. As we said, we've got the privacy narrative in here. We've got the cross-chain narrative in here. We've got the L1s. We've got the gaming. It covers a large sector of crypto, layer 2. So when building a portfolio, it's interesting to note that you should really be diversifying across multiple narratives. There's no point having all your funds in L1s, all your funds in gaming, unless you're an absolute expert, of course, because you want to be diversifying across multiple narratives. So let's say gaming somehow just didn't take off this year, but L2 did. If you're positioned in both, then you can benefit from both. So diversification is key in crypto. Don't diversify too much. Don't have 50, 60 projects, but maybe 20, 30 projects is a good amount of projects for you guys to have because you can diversify across multiple sectors. So we're here to help. We've created some amazing coins. For example, when Hustle made this this watch list, I came straight into my own watch list and I added some of the coins. I hadn't heard about Froyo before. And the video that Hustle did taught me a little bit about it, so you can come in and add it to your gaming watch list. So take advantage of the information that we give you guys because it is a great way to be able to kind of get your eye on some of the new projects going around. Once you have projects, once you've selected your projects, now it's the fun part. Now it's time to yield farm. So we know Fantom's a great project. We know AVAX. We know Luna. We know Sol are all great projects, but there's no point keeping them in your wallet and letting them waste away because you can actively earn yield on these tokens. So even if the market is dropping, you're still earning yield. And the best thing about when the market is dropping is that you're accumulating tokens at lower levels. So when you're reinvesting, let's say Luna profits from a farm back into Luna and you're compounding it, you're actually averaging in. You're forced dollar cost averaging because when the market's super low, like it was yesterday, when you compounded, you were actually essentially buying Luna at that price, but you were forced to do it through accumulation from farming. So farming is a great way to be able to take advantage of the swings in the market because you're topping up on your tokens when the market is low. And I do a lot of work every day to find the best strategies on the market and deliver to you guys. So watching the show every single day is going to get you ahead of the pack. You'll be ahead of the pack watching this show because you're getting the DeFi strategies first, pretty much before anyone else hears about them. I'm very, very keen in terms of finding out about new strategies. Like every day I wake up, I trawl through Twitter, I look at applications like CoinDix, and I find the new strategies to give you guys because I always want you guys to stay on top of the market. And that's exactly why I'm here every day. And yesterday I posted a thread, and this thread was outlining my favorite Luna and Sol staking strategies. So on my Twitter, if you go onto the pinned tweet, it's pinned at the moment, it's a 20-part thread on exactly how to stake your Luna and Solana with no impermanent loss. So watching these shows every day is going to keep you guys ahead of the pack because you have to be farming your tokens. There's no point keeping your Fantom in your wallet when you can be farming it and actively earning yield on it. And that is the real point that I want to get across to you guys. Obviously, be smart about risk. Don't have everything in one DeFi protocol, maybe spread out across multiple farms to limit smart contract risk. But you have to be taking advantage of the strategies that I give you because, and not all of them, of course, you can't enter every strategy. That would be mad. But the ones that you like, if you ever come across one that you like, make sure to take advantage of it because farming in this market is a great way to be able to profit. So I did post my Luna and Solana strategies. I know a lot of you guys hold those tokens. I have a strategy here where you can earn 38% on Luna with no impermanent loss. How amazing is that? 38% on Luna and almost 20% on Solana as well with no impermanent loss. So that's on my Twitter in the pinned tweet. But I want to give you a new one today because I haven't actually talked about many ways to farm Fantom. I have talked a lot about how to farm Fantom ecosystem coins like Beats and Liquid Driver, but I get a lot of questions. I've got Fantom, but I don't know where to stake it. Like, I don't want to hold the ecosystem tokens because they're too risky, or I already have my Beats staked and I want to be able to deploy my Fantom. So right now I'm going to show you one of the ways, and I actually did this today with some of my Fantom because I think that the pools are great over here. One of the ways that I stake my Fantom. Now, we all know about Tomb Finance. Tomb Finance is a popular way to stake Fantom, but I like to spread my risk because I don't like having heaps of my funds in Tomb because if something happened to the Tomb peg, that could impact the farm. That could impact your Fantom holdings when the Tomb price decreases. So I like single-sided staking because there's no LPing when it comes to single-sided. You're simply depositing Fantom tokens and you're not pairing them with anything, so there's less risk doing this. So I recommend implementing some single-sided staking strategies into your holdings. Just like I talked about with Luna and Sol yesterday, I also want to talk, or the day before, I also want to talk about Fantom because I haven't talked about Fantom single staking a whole lot. So Terra Finance is actually the website that I'm using at the moment to be able to farm Fantom because I think it's one of the best places that offers single-sided staking vaults. So if you go onto Terra, and Terra is a borrowing and lending platform on Fantom, similar to Aave, you can actually put up some Fantom in these farms and earn yield on them for borrowing, or for lending, and you can also earn yield on the borrowing side as well. But I'm focusing on the lending side today because this video applies for people that have Fantom tokens and want somewhere to stake them. So what you can do is you can come into Terra, you can look at the pools and you can sort. So by Fantom Supply APR. And what sorting by Fantom Supply APR enables you to do is sort by the yields that are being offered directly on the Fantom token. You'll see there's a lot of confusing tokens on this website. So when you click Fantom Supply APR, it's going to sort automatically in terms of yield and where you're going to get the best yield on Fantom. So we can see right now on Fantom Liquid Driver, it's a 33% supply APR on the Fantom side. So to enter this pool, for example, and I'm just picking a random example, do your research on each individual vault. You can come in and click lend. And what you can do by clicking lend is deposit your Fantom holdings in here. So click on lend on the pool that you want to deposit in. We can see the supply APR is 33% and click supply. And then you can deposit Fantom in your wallet and actually supply it to Terra. Now, what you're doing when you're supplying Fantom is you're putting it up for people to be able to borrow. So the risk here, and this is the risk with the protocol, is that if the utilization rate hits 100%, then what will happen is there may not be enough on the supply side to be able to pay out lenders. So you have to make sure the utilization rate is staying low enough so you're not impacted. But Terra does implement strategies to be able to limit this. So I haven't seen yet a disastrous event on Terra. They're pretty measured with their approach and in terms of their set LTVs. But I would always make sure to be wary of the utilization rate, but this is a great way to earn money single-sided staking Fantom. So just to recap, you can sort by APR to find the best paying pools on Terra. Then you can come in and you can deposit, so sort by Fantom supply APR, deposit into the pool that you like. So for example, you've got Fantom 3 shares here, which is paying a crazy supply APR. Obviously this fluctuates depending on the day, so don't get too sucked into like a crazy APR because you want things that are being consistent over time and aren't just paying out temporarily. But the supply APRs here are really, really good. For example, USDC Fantom on Spirit Swap, which is quite, a good pair, and the utilization rate is lower than 80%, which is positive. You've got a 24% supply APR. So you can deposit your Fantom and earn 24% on your Fantom in a single-sided staking vault, which is super positive because we want to be earning money on our Fantom, and you can't just put it all in Tomb Finance and you can't put it all in Beethoven, etc. You want to be spreading it out across multiple protocols. So Terra Finance is one of the places where I personally stake my Fantom, and obviously I gave a Luna and Sol strategies 2 days ago on where to stake those tokens. So we've covered quite a bit of ground in this video. I've showed you guys my stablecoin strategy. I always keep a little bit of my portfolio in stablecoins and I farm them. I showed you guys where I actually find the best yields on CoinDix. I reiterated the importance of watch lists. You've got to be keeping watch lists. And I also showed you that taking advantage of the scanning sites and making it a part of your daily routine is a really good indicator to be able to find out what's happening on chain. Because when we're looking at the price, we also have to consider what's actually happening on chain to separate the FUD from the facts. And right now there is a lot of FUD, a lot of panic in this market. And that is something to take advantage of. Fear creates opportunity. I'll say that time and time again. Averaging in during times of despair when the market's super angry, like I've seen a lot of people on my feed really angry recently, it's a great opportunity to be able to accumulate. And these are the times where we want to be looking at accumulating. Can we go lower? Sure. But is it giving us a great look as a long-term holder? Absolutely. Long-term, if you've got a long time horizon, these are the types of markets where we thrive. The markets where we can farm, accumulate at lower levels, and set ourselves up for long-term success. And I'm not just saying that because it's fun to say that we can profit long-term. I'm saying that because I truly believe it. Like I truly believe in 3 to 5 years, whatever amount of time I have set, that the market will be significantly higher than it is today. So we have to take advantage of the times where we can accumulate at lower levels. And that is the main point I want to make in today's video, as well as obviously the things we touched on in terms of being able to maximize your yield. Thank you guys for watching and tuning into the show. Make sure you smash the like button if you enjoyed. I'm streaming live every single day at 1:30 a.m. EST to give you guys the best DeFi alpha. I hope you enjoyed and took some great strategies out of this video. I think some of the strategies that I shared are going to be super valuable for you guys to implement into your own portfolios and really level up your game in terms of DeFi at the moment. Now is the time to be educating yourself. Now is the time to get your hands dirty with DeFi and really start learning so that when this market takes off again, and trust me, eventually it will take off again, you will be in the right position to be able to benefit. Thank you very much. See you in the next show. Peace out.